Hello and welcome to Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, where I discuss the future of the Niger-Delta region blessed with hydrocarbon resources. Every week, we give time to reflecting on topics relevant to the development of the Niger-Delta and her people. And this is no different. We're here to focus once again on how to take the Niger-Delta region to a more promising future. And be reminded, the program is sponsored by the operator of the NNPC SPDC Total Energies Achi joint venture, the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, headquartered in Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining. I'm Adedayo Ilushakid. On this episode of Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, we're discussing problems provide opportunities for advancement. In every challenge we face, there lies a seed of opportunity for growth and progress. Throughout history, humanity has faced numerous problems, each one seemingly insurmountable. Yet, with each problem, we have found ways to adapt, to innovate and advance. From the discovery of fire to the invention of the wheel, from the development of the printing press to the creation of the internet, every problem has spurred us on to find new and better ways of doing things. For example, the problem of bacterial infections led to the discovery of antibiotics. Before the 20th century, there were no effective treatments for infections like pneumonia, gonorrhea, or rheumatic fever. Physicians were helpless to stop the deaths caused by these illnesses. However, this problem led to the opportunity for a solution, the discovery of antibiotics. In 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered the first antibiotic, penicillin. Quite by accident, he noticed that a mold called Penicillium notatum was effective in killing bacteria. This marked the beginning of a new era in medicine, leading to the development of a wide range of antibiotics that have since saved countless lives worldwide. Thus, the challenge of bacterial infections paved the way for the revolutionary solution of antibiotics. This is a prime example of how problems provide opportunities for advancement. On Canvas today, we will explore this concept in depth, considering a particular example. We will see how a problem has led to significant advancements and breakthroughs, shaping the world as we know it today. Again, on this edition of Canvas, our topic is Problems Provide Opportunities for Advancement. My guest is Nnamdi Ubah. Nnamdi is the co-founder, CEO of Sitemap, a pro-tech platform that has digitized over 50 million square meters of land for real estate companies and government agencies to make land ownership simple, fast and scam-free. He has more than 10 years of tech infrastructure development experience. Nnamdi Ubah, hello, welcome to Canvas and Niger-Delta Roundtable.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I have no doubts we're going to have an interesting conversation.
Sure, we will.
All right, great. First off, what do you make of the topic of conversation, the topic of our discourse? Topic, once again, problems provide opportunities for advancement. What do you make of that?
Okay, yeah, there's a saying, necessity is the mother of innovation. And looking at how it works, there is always a need, you understand, that brings innovation or problem solving. Because if there is no problems, there will be no solutions. And a lot of businesses that we all know today are thriving because they are solving one problem or the other for a need of mankind. And from there, they actually provide solutions. So there is no business that can even survive if you are not solving a problem. So, and again, this problem solving, bringing into solutions and necessities, or bringing up growth or innovations, comes from people being resilient. You see these problems and you want to solve it, and you are not giving up on solving it. So you have to make a lot of iterations, experiment a lot of things to get the actual solution that you can use in solving that particular problem that is actually holding you. That's something my dad had on our old house in the village. There's something they call, he wrote it on the wall, Ndidi Noge Afofo. That's endurance during the time of suffering or time of having during the hard times. So you see that you need to actually have that endurance to be able to solve that particular problem, because you have to take it gradually, one step at a time, understanding this problem from the root cause before you can be able to get that solution that can solve this problem for you.
If you don't mind my asking, what language was that?
That's Igbo language.
Okay, great. Now, is it just pep talk, something to excite a person, or to just get them going? And what I mean is every problem literally an opportunity, or are there problems that are just plain insurmountable?
It's not really every problem that brings opportunity, because that's where experiment comes in. That's where finding the root of the problem comes in also. Because if the problem that you want to solve has a potential of having a solution, let me put it this way. If the problem you want to solve is big enough that there are so many people, you understand, that are actually having that challenge, and they are willing, you understand, to get any solution at any cost, that is when there is opportunity in such solving those problems. But when a problem is just only you or only me having that sort of problem, and I don't see any other person having it, me solving it for myself, it's self-fulfillment, it's self-fulfilling, but it doesn't bring in opportunity, because I'm just the only person that I just solved my personal problem.
Now, you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur, and you're in the tech space, you're an innovator, and we'll come to that in a moment, because that is, to a great degree, at the crux or the heart of our conversation for this episode. However, speaking of businesses, how can businesses turn problems or challenges into opportunities for growth and innovation?
Okay, first of all, that business has to first be a problem-solving oriented. So they must be able to identify themselves as a company that wants to solve a problem. So, and the second thing they need to do is always go to the root of the problem. Understanding the root makes it super simple and easy for this business to be able to convert problems into opportunities and growth for their businesses. So when they understand the root, then it becomes easy for them to find the solution. And sometimes these solutions are not simple, so that is where experimenting comes in. So you need to start experimenting a lot of solutions that can help you to have your aha moment. And once you just get that aha moment, then your growth start coming in. And during experimenting, it becomes where you now bring in another thing called agility. So you now have to start using an agility method. Agility, I mean here, is ability to iterate very fast or fail very fast. So when you fail on this solution, you can easily move to another solution and be able to keep iterating until you're able to get that particular solution that you are looking for. And that is when your growth start coming in.
You say fail very fast. To make it sound like failing is a good thing.
Yes, failing is a very good thing, because failing helps you to learn also. So when you learn, when you fail, you learn. You have already known why you failed, so you can always implement. If bringing a new solution, you are implementing the experience that we have learned from the first failed solution, and you keep moving. That's why you see a lot of these big companies, they have a lot of failed products, you understand? But those things are the things that keep them going. It's not even the business, but learning to be able to get most of these experiments better is why they keep improving in the business.
Also, taking from some of what you just said, is every business, or should every business be a problem-solving entity?
Yes, because it's only when you solve a problem that opportunity and growth comes in. Because if you're not solving a problem as a business, then you cannot grow. In fact, if you can understand, a lot of big companies have their research and development department. where they try to learn new things, study new things, research on new problems that they can proffer solution on within their company goals and values.
Oh, do these rules and processes, do they also apply to individuals as well?
Yes, it is. And so the only difference in a company and an individual is on the individual side, you need to start also developing yourself. You understand? So self-development or personal development comes in, where you train yourself in a way that you can be able to become a problem-solving person and understanding where there is problem and how you can create opportunities from there. But every other thing is the same.
Talking about understanding problems and how you can create opportunities from them, what role does education play in equipping individuals with the capacity or abilities to turn problems into opportunities?
Yeah, education is actually one of the first things that should be able to get into in terms of solving problems, because you don't just solve a problem that you don't understand. So learning how to solve that problem is educational. So you have to equip yourself in different skills, like analytic skills, understanding how to read data, because before you can even solve some of the problems you have, you need to understand the data of how that problem comes about and how many people that is having this challenge and how you can be able to solve that problem. So in the educational side, you look at, like I just mentioned, agility. Agility is like, in the technical side, you can even start talking about the Scrum and the Scrum Masters and the rest. So that means someone actually have to understand how it works before you can even start solving those problems. So that means you need to train, or you bring people that are already trained to help you in solving those problems. So education is one of the best things someone can do to be able to start understanding the problem and how to convert it into opportunity and growth.
What does education really mean in this context? Is it just getting higher education or getting some degree or several degrees? Because once again, you're on the tech space, and some of the biggest names globally in the tech space are, I mean, it's popularly said that they're high school dropouts. Many of them didn't get university education. So, once again, what does education really mean in this case?
Yeah, education here is not just about the masters and the degrees around our formal education system. We'll now go into skills education, you understand? Because most of the things that are actually being used in solving problems in today's life experiences are not taught in school, you understand? So we now start looking at how to develop your skills, how to be like, you start going for different, there's a lot of different courses around the whole bit. Like currently now you can see that MBA is vastly stronger than masters and PhD. Why? Because people are studying MBA because they want to be able to understand businesses and solve problems within the business ecosystem. So that way too, in the technical side or technology side, people now go into learning coding, learning user experience and user interface, that UI, UX, and some other ways, you understand, that are not taught in school that can help in improving and solving problems for any organization.
Whenever a business encounters a problem or a challenge, or even an individual for that matter, and for whatever reason, the business or individual is unable to get past that problem or solve that problem, does that imply failure?
It's a two-way thing, because one, when you are not able to solve a particular problem, so it could be that you don't have the necessary skills to be able to find the best solution for that problem, and that is where experimenting comes around. But when you can be able to, that's why if you see a lot of people like Jack Ma and Elon Musk they talk about working with people that are more experienced than them, so that they can be able to solve a problem faster. So it's something that's supposed to take 2 years or 1 year can be fixed in 3 weeks or 2-3 months, as case, depending on the level of experience that team has. So that's first part. Then the second part is maybe that problem is not big enough to be able to solve. So by the time of experimenting more than 10 or 20 times, you should be able to know when to say, we cannot be able to solve this problem at this moment, and you can stop. Another thing is timing also, you understand? Maybe the time for that to solve that problem has not come into place. I could remember in 2018, when I was doing fractional ownership in the real estate sector, I was too early, you understand? So solving that problem then, people really don't understand that there is a problem within that time. You understand that someone can actually enter into a real estate with a real estate investment using the smallest barrier. So I was more like trying to solve a problem that is not yet the time for me to solve. So then I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve, you understand? But now, if you look around you everywhere, you hear about fractional ownership, invest with 5,000 naira, invest, because this is actually the time. And people doing it right now could make so much money because that's the time for it. So that's how a problem can be solved. So I failed then because it wasn't that I don't have the skills or I don't have the technology, but it wasn't the right time for me to actually solve those solutions.
Will help me out here, please. What exactly is fractional ownership?
Okay, fractional ownership is investing in real estate with the lowest entry point barrier. For example, let's use this building as an example. And this building worth 50 million naira, and no, but one person might not have this 50 million naira, and you decide to co-invest. So you bring a lot of people who can bring in 1,000 naira into 50 million. And all of them bring the 1,000 and become the new owner of this house, of this building. So when rent is being paid, they earn their rent, and also, of course, capital appreciation of the house also becomes a new investment, a new return of investment that they can earn over time. So that's what it means. So it's more like entering into a real estate investment with the smallest entry point.
Mm. What are some strategies for identifying opportunities that lie within problems?
Okay, like I said, first is understanding the root of the problem. So that's the first strategy, understand the root of the problem. Why is this problem occurring? Or why am I having this problem? You understand? What caused this problem? You understand? Understanding all this and getting the answers right helps you to now find solutions by experimenting. And then being able to also, like I said, being able to also fail fast. You understand? So when you fail, you can easily find a new solution without waiting for, of that saying, I have failed, no need to continue. You understand? That way you could be able to, these three things are majorly the best strategies to actually use in solving problems.
It might sound like I'm going back to an earlier part of the conversation, but I really need to get to understand this quite clearly. Does every problem present an opportunity?
Like I said, no. So the size of the problem determines how big the opportunity can come from. It can come out of it.
So are bigger problems better than smaller problems?
Yes, a bigger problem is better than smaller problems. So a bigger problem requires a bigger opportunity, while a smaller problem brings up a smaller opportunity. So the bigger the problem, like in the introduction, you made mention about penicillin and bacteria. It's very big problem because people were dying. Just like COVID-19 too, it was a very huge problem. So all the people that brought the vaccine made so much money because it's a very big opportunity also, you understand, solving those problems. Like, for example, all of us now are also waiting for a solution for HIV. So if that solution comes in, it becomes a very big opportunity, and there is money to be made in solving such problems. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity that comes from it.
Okay, you probably heard this song. There's quite a number of popular songs out there, Nigerian songs these days. There's one, I don't remember the artist right now, but the lines go something like big things Nemo like.
Yes.
So now, well, I mean, there's an implied
Yes, exactly.
there's an implied message into that.
Yes.
But as far as problems go, should I be looking for big problems in life?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Look
Okay.
for big problems, because the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity that comes from it. Because that's why most like we in the startup space, when you are talking about your problem, you talk about it with numbers. How many people that is going to affect if you actually solve that problem using your solution. So people need to understand the numbers there and how so much money can be made from there. So if there is no, that's why I said, if it's just my own personal problem and nobody else has this kind of problem, then I can just solve it for myself and then rest. So it doesn't have any opportunity and growth or economic growth is going to bring to Niger-Delta, River State, or Nigeria as a whole. But if it's a very big problem, then everybody comes in to make money from it.
You encountered a problem, and you and a partner of yours evolved a solution to it. We'll come to that in a moment. It is Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable. We are discussing problems presenting opportunities for advancement. We'll go for a break now. We'll return. The conversation will continue. Please stay with us.
Our yellow and black markers indicate pipeline and flow line right-of-way boundaries. Your activity could impact on the buried high-pressure hydrocarbon pipelines and flow lines, leading to possible leaks and explosion. Please keep off. Do not engage in sand mining or any form of excavation, pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and bush burning within pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Do not farm, trade, or locate any business on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. It is against the law to apportion land, sell, or build on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Maintain a setback distance of at least 30 meters or about 100 feet from the right-of-way boundaries always. We care for your safety and that of the environment.
This message is brought to you by the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, operator of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Total Energies, and Ajib Joint Venture.
Welcome back. It is Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. I'm Dio, and we're discussing a very important matter, problems presenting opportunities for advancement. And my guest is Nnamdi Uba, an entrepreneur in the tech space. Nnamdi, great to have you here once again.
Thank you so much.
Co-founder of Sitemap, am I right?
Yes.
Great. Before the break, I mentioned you were in one such situation. You encountered a problem. Would I be right to say it was a big problem?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a big problem because
Okay.
it's not because it is a very big problem in Nigeria actually.
Okay, it was a big problem, and you did not just wallow in whatever it is you may have suffered or lost as a result of that big problem you encountered. So let's discuss a personal experience where a problem you encountered led to an unexpected opportunity for growth and advancement. Can you talk about that?
Okay, let me put it this way. It's not my personal problem, but because it's my co-founder's problem, so it becomes our problem because we were friends when it happened. Okay, so...
So who's the co-founder about it?
His name is Ndifreke Ikoko. He's not around at the moment. He's in Lagos.
Okay.
So that was in 2017, and we are doing our startup. There was a startup we were running then, BitPayer. Is a cryptocurrency exchange platform. So during those times, we made some cash, and he acquired some properties. And 1 year later, I wanted to resell. Then the main owner of the land came and said, "This is my land." So it became an issue. So we could not be able to sell that land again, and we entered into court case with the seller and all that. So even up till now, the money is still being paid back. So imagine 2017 till now, they are still paying us back the money gradually. So that's a very big problem. So we ask ourselves, is it just only us that have this challenge in Nigeria and Africa? So we found out that it's not just only us. It's a massive problem in Nigeria. For example, there is a data that shows that over 500,000 land scams happen in Lagos and Ogun State every year. So
wow, that's a big problem.
That's a very big problem.
That's a humongous problem.
You can imagine that. So, and you can agree with me that there's no day you pass anywhere in Nigeria, Port Harcourt, that you don't see a signpost of this house or this land is not for sale.
Oh, beware 419.
Beware of 419. Some even went back. Some even go as length as saying, beware of Emeka, my son. You understand? So that's how.
No offense to Emeka, of course.
Exactly. So that's how big this problem is. And one of the challenges, and it's not just this scam side. We also noticed that in the real estate space, the time at which, like, let's say you want to acquire a property, it takes a whole lot of time. You understand? Currently now, let's use the real estate companies or the government sectors that are actually giving out lands allocations. You find out that it takes up to 4 months before you even get all the document, everything sent to you. So these two things, the scam and the time it takes, is discouraging. And this brings in fear and uncertainty for the people investing. So looking at these things, we see that there is a very huge problem and it needs a solution.
Okay, so your partner had a problem, which became both your problem.
Exactly.
And quick summary, he purchased some landed property. For him, it was a speculative investment.
Yeah.
To be resold for a resale afterwards after a period of time.
Exactly.
When it was time for the resale, some other fellow turned up to say the property is mine.
Exactly.
And that was fact, by the way. It was
Exactly.
confirmed.
Exactly.
Okay,
Of course.
so
and not just only him, some of my friends too. There's also one of my friends. He got a land in Eneka, and when he wanted to sell it, the real owner also came. And he was like, the seller was also actually the person that sold to the real owner. So he was like telling the real owner, I thought you were dead. Because that land was bought since 1991. So he's not saying, I thought you were dead. And since you have not developed this land, I decided to resell.
But even if the original buyer was dead,
Exactly.
Parents or individuals buy stuff and then bequeath to children or other person.
Maybe nobody else is coming for this land, and he quickly collected money from my friend.
Wow. So that was a problem. And yes. What did you and your partner do to fix this problem?
Okay, so what we're doing currently now is we've developed a platform leveraging on the satellite imagery that can help people to stay anywhere they are in the world.
And pardon me, just to be clear, this happened in River State, huh?
Yes, of course, in Port Harcourt here.
Okay, go ahead.
So what we did is to leverage on technology such as satellite imagery and blockchain technology to build a platform that can make it super easy and simple for someone to identify a land, verify this land, and reserve their plot. And in the less than 20 minutes, all the documents for the land is processed and sent to you.
Oh, come on, it can't be that simple.
That's how it works.
Could you break it down a little further?
So what we did is we started partnering with the government and the real estate companies to digitize their processes, you understand, and make it super simple. So any location that they want to sell, we digitize it and put it on a satellite image, so that people can easily, from anywhere they are in the world, with comfort of their home, verify the location, the authenticity of the plot, make a reservation of that plot, generate their contract information of that plot. When they make payment, that plot automatically is allocated to them. The coordinates and their document that they're processing is sent to that client email instantly.
Okay, so I know you've described how it works, but just take me through the process here. Let's say, so I want to acquire a piece of property.
Okay.
What do I do?
Okay, let's say...
What do I do in relation to how your organization sitemap comes into play?
Okay, so what we did is we built a white label solution for these organizations. So, for example, let's say you want to acquire a property from an SYZ real estate company. When you meet them, either they are realtors or you come to their office directly, they can show you a big screen showing their project, you understand, a satellite image, and show you around it. And you can also verify by clicking, there's a button we have, verify estate. You can see the charting information. You don't have to go to the government to do the charting. We have connected most of those chart reports there. So you just click and see whether the land is actually government, is under government acquisition or not. So we put all those reports there. So you can mix from what they have, because in real time is the plot information is shown in real time. So you can see the plots that are available, the ones that has already been sold. So you can make a choice from just like the way you book flight, you just choose your spot, the seat or the spot you love, and you can reserve it. So reserving it helps you to go back and rethink, you understand? So you can reserve for like 48 hours. So after 48 hours you didn't pay, the plot goes back to available for another person to choose. So with the report, with the 48, with the reservation space, you can make payment. So the system generates everything, the payment details, the contract information details, so you can sign, make payment anytime you want within the 48 hours window. So once you make that payment, it automatically mark that plot sold. So the plot can be turned back to red, which is sold. So that way another person cannot choose it, which is also solving a duplicate allocation problem. So there'll be no two persons dragging one plot. So it solves a whole lot of problem for the realtors, actually helping them to sell this plot, because sometimes there might be too many sales and two realtors are choosing one particular plot for their client, you understand? So which can bring in loggerhead in terms of deciding, but making it sold out, another person can't choose it anymore, so you can choose a different one.
Okay, now does this solution work for every land that's available? Or maybe I should ask you a question before that. Where is this solution available? Yes. The solution you're providing, where is it available?
It's available in Nigeria at the moment, everywhere in Nigeria. So like I said, we are working with the government agencies and the real estate companies. So the only lands you can find there are the lands these real estate companies we are working with. Okay,
so if there's a real estate firm that is not working with sitemap, your organization, their landed property does not appear on your database.
Exactly, they don't.
Okay.
So it's a gradual process. So like as I was telling you before, we just signed a contract with a state government. So that state government is also going to put all the lands they are making available for allocation, you understand, on the platform, so that people can easily see those lands and make a choice and reserve and pay and get allocated.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you next. By virtue of Nigerian law, land is vested in government. Government owns land. Yeah. So even though there's private ownership of land, ultimately most of the land is still owned by government, and even that which is in private ownership is still ultimately owned by government. So I was going to ask if sitemap is working with the government within the Niger-Delta and even beyond as well.
Yes, so like I say, it's a gradual process, so we'll still get them one after the other. In fact, when we started this platform, we wanted to work with the government, you understand, but the process of getting government into this kind of platforms is going to be very long, and I need to also know who person.
Let's talk about that, because that takes me to the next question I was going to ask. So you and your partner, and consequently yourself, encounter this problem, and another person to know as well, friends of yours, encounter this humongous problem, and you thought of a solution to it. Your solution was sitemap. Were there any problems with setting up sitemap as well? Because I think that even when you identify a problem, in this case, you had a humongous problem, you had a solution to it. Is it just smooth? Once we find, oh, okay, this solution can work for this. Is it just smooth sailing, or did you encounter yet another problem again with implementing that solution?
Yes, solving a problem in the real estate sector is one of the biggest problems also. Yes. You understand? So the adoption, when we started this, we had huge problems also trying to solve this problem. Maybe the way we started. That was why I said something about experimenting solutions. So we keep experimenting what works, but we do not throw away the vision of the company. Okay, so but we have tested different types of solutions, or let's say we have pivoted into different business models, you understand, to be able to solve this problem. You understand? The one we are going with now should be like the eighth times that we have actually tried different business models. So when you keep encountering the problems, you also keep changing and finding what works. And the best way to also solve this problem, I didn't mention, is talking to the people that are also having the same problem that you're having. You know, so to understand their own perspective and also understand what works for them also. Because there's something YC we say, they say, build what people want. So understanding what those people actually really want, we also help in solving those problems. Why did we even make this a wide level solution? Because before, when we started, we wanted them to come and log in on our platform and be able to use the solution, but it wasn't working. You understand? Sometimes they even forget our own website name. You understand? So we were like, this is not going to work. So we started making it as a wide level solution because we know that with their own website name, they can remember to actually log in. And we start pushing it to them and start making it for them to brand it their own. And we solved that problem. And usability started happening. Again, we were charging monthly. And it became a problem because onboarding takes time, you understand? So imagine you are charging someone monthly, and in the second month, you have not finished onboarding. Are you going to charge the person again for that month that you have not even finished onboarding? We started having high churn rates, and we changed the business model again to one-off setup fee and transaction fee. That way is a win-win for everybody. You get, so that's how we keep encountering problems and we keep bringing up solutions to keep making the platform very fantastic. So when we started this also, everybody was on one platform, but we noticed the real estate companies, and of course they want to give something to the government. I want them to also be on the platform, and privacy issues were one of the challenges also. And we decided to start installing these things on their individual platforms and individual websites so that everybody is autonomous on their own. Their data reside with them and not with me. So it start bringing up usability and tractions again for us. So these are how we were seeing problems, and we were also tackling these problems to solve the need of the adoption.
Oh, quite fascinating, really, and incredibly impressive as well. What progress have you recorded with Sitemap thus far?
Currently, we have about 170 real estate companies using the platform right now, and we have also digitized over 15.5 million square meters of land, which if you translate it to real estate project, it will be around 150 estate projects. If you are translating it to plots of land, it's going to be around 400,000 plots of land on the platform currently. And we have helped with the solution. We have recorded and digitized over 2,000 land ownerships. And this month, we actually started transacting on the platform, so people can actually reserve and pay this month. And we have done over 33 land transactions valued at 150 million naira currently, just this month.
What projections do you have for Sitemap?
Our projection is very simple: to become the infrastructure backbone for trusted and transparent real estate transaction.
And how's that going so far?
Yeah, of course. When you buy a land and you can be able to have a platform where you can go and see your land and say, this is my land, then it's really, really solving it.
Problems abound everywhere. I mean, the entire Nigerian landscape is one huge problematic situation. The Niger-Delta even more so. There's several problems that we have here and we're contending with in the Niger-Delta region. How can we cultivate a mindset that sees problems as opportunities rather than obstacles, especially in the Niger-Delta?
Yeah, cultivating those kind of mindset requires, that's where the educational part comes in. So people need to acquire the set of skills that can help them to become a problem-solving oriented person. So you need to be able to identify the problem from the root cause. You understand? Because one thing I notice in Nigeria is we see problem as obstacle, like you said. We always complain about the problem. We always find someone to blame about a particular problem. But the best thing is actually asking, why did it happen? What was the cause? Or who is involved in this? And how can we solve this and make it better? And if we start having those mindsets, then we can be able to start growing and start bringing more opportunity to the Niger-Delta region.
So education is key, I suppose, in the sense that it broadens your mind and increases your capacity for analytical thinking and problem-solving abilities as well. How does the concept of problems provided opportunities for advancement apply in the field of personal development and even self-improvement now? How does the concept of problems providing opportunities for advancement help in personal development and self-improvement? Because whilst you made it obvious from the example of sitemap, how businesses can leverage on that, how does it work for individuals' personal development?
Okay, yeah, in the terms of individual personal development, every other thing the government, the businesses has to do is also what an individual has to do. First, you need to also make yourself a problem-solving person. You understand? So that way, it makes it easier for you to see opportunities from that problem. So you need to also start learning from people's mistakes and not criticizing them. You understand? Or blaming them for such mistakes or the cost of the problem. So making it that way starts helping you to start seeing life differently.
What if someone else did cause the problem? Why shouldn't I blame them?
Oh, but it's life. Anything can happen. You understand? So if you blame someone, then you have also killed that person's spirit. You understand? But when you don't blame anyone, the person might actually also become a solution for that same problem. You understand? And you have to also, it might be the best solution too. So blaming someone for a particular problem is also might cost you exempting the real solution to that problem.
Now, still on the mindset that problems present opportunities for advancement. And like I said a while ago, we have enormous problems here in the Niger-Delta we're contending with. There's a lot of blame game going around. And more often than not, you find out the problems get exacerbated rather than solutions being provided. Now, if we are able to develop this mindset and it pervades the Niger-Delta region especially, what impact will it have on, or could it have on the socio-economic landscape of the Niger-Delta region? Yeah,
let's look at social impact and economic impact that is going to improve. Okay, imagine if let me use from my business perspective. Imagine all the lands as we are in 2024, where almost everything is digitized, and you can stay anywhere you are and confidently, acquire land, and all the information is sent to you. Don't you think the growth of land purchase will increase? Let's say it's only Niger State region, Niger-Delta region, you understand? The growth will increase. And what does it mean? Economic growth also will increase. Social impact growth will also increase. So a lot of things are going to start happening. For example, the valuation or the GDP of the state will also increase. You understand? So having this mindset of problem solving is going to practically grow the economy of a particular region and its social impact. Because people will start be able to do things the way they should be able to do it. Like most of us, if we travel abroad, we feel more safe. Why? Because the problem of maybe robbing or anything has been solved. You understand? You feel more safer. But here in our region or anywhere in Nigeria, 9 p.m. you're already running home, or 7 p.m. you're already running home and all that, because you don't want to get your phone snatched and all those kind of things. So these are how problem solving can change the mindset of people who are actually living in a geographical environment, because it's going to remove a lot of things. Anything you see that is a problem, you find the solution and solve that problem, and everybody is happy.
How about the perception held by some persons? Also, maybe not exclusive to the Niger-Delta, but you hear this narrative a lot in our region here, that the only language government or organizations, whether they are IOCs or organizations of a different nomenclature, the only thing they understand is problem, is violence. If we're trying to find solutions, it won't work. So there's a problem. The only way we can solve that problem, let's create more problems, even bigger problems as well. That's the narrative of some persons.
I get that part. Even sometimes in my company, I decide to use, let me use violence. That's only what Nigeria understands. But it doesn't work that way, you understand? Because that could be one of the solutions, but it's not the best solution. There could be other. That's why experimenting other solutions helps in bringing out the best solution for that same problem. You understand? So violence could be a solution, but it might not be the best solution. For example, you can also use leverage on incentive, you understand, as a solution. Like for me in my company, we're working on bringing in incentive where we tell you, if you finish your tax, if you are given a tax for the month and you finish it, you get additional fund. You understand? So that way, I'm not using the negative solution that is say, if you don't finish your tax, I charge you, I reduce your salary. But I'm saying if you finish it, I increase it. Because a lot of people will want to finish so that they can get that big money. And the way they do this kind of thing, you might make that big money to even be bigger than their salary. You understand? Because if they finish those tax, it's a win-win for the company. The company is growing, and even if you pay them, you have actually made that money from them finishing their tax. So that way, you might have bring a better program. But if you are using the negative side, where if you don't finish it, I charge you, then you are creating fear into them. And if they see that they cannot get it done to the way you want, or getting those tax, you see them resigning, because a lot of people are humans. We don't want where people will see us as less human, or where people will tell us we don't know what we are doing and all that. So these are kind of solutions you can actually bring in that can give you a quality result than using the negative aspect.
Whenever there are problems, especially of a humongous size, of huge magnitude, the kind that has societal impact, does it behove government and big businesses only to work out solutions to these problems, or the individuals and communities also have roles to play in formulating solutions to societal problems?
Yes, of course, everybody is involved, you understand? But where the challenge is now is the listening part, you understand? So if you bring out these solutions, will it be implemented? You get the point. Like let me give an instance. AWS was formed out of a suggestion. AWS is the Amazon web server, their own cloud service providing company. It was formed out of suggestion from a staff. You understand? So when they were growing very fast, they had their own servers, and the Bezos asked question: we have so many servers, what can we do with it? And somebody suggested, we can start hosting other people's softwares and websites on these servers, and we can also make money from these servers. You understand? And then we are no longer taking over the cost. And that was how AWS started. And that guy was made the CEO of AWS. And currently now, he's now the overall Amazon CEO. So that's how listening to people, your subordinates, can be able to also change the face of any geographical environment or company. So it's now left for our government, you understand, to listen to the communities, the local government, on the solutions they are bringing that can help in solving some of the problems within those locations. And once those problems or solutions, once those solutions are implemented, it becomes super easy for that area to grow. And it's also a win for the entire state government.
No, it seems like, I mean, you're obviously, you and your partner in the business of problem solving, and you've solved a very big problem thus far. What else can we or should we expect from Sitemap going forward?
Once we're going to be able to, we are going in phases. So this phase, we are in the phase of data collection and helping the real estate companies digitize their processes. So the next phase should be financing. The next stage will be financing. So financing is, there is data. We are looking at the financial institutions coming on board to help people get access to loan with their data. Of course, there is now a way of financial institutions verifying ownership of land to give loans. Either the company, the real estate company, or the individual. You get the point. Yeah? So from there, you see that we are also making lands bankable. So that's the next phase where we are going. And of course, that we also bring a second phase, which is another phase, which is called verification phase. We see all these lands going up, and in the nearest future, in the next 5 years and all that, a secondary market is going to unlock. And people will want to resell, people will want to lease, and there'll be a room for verification. And of course, a platform for verification will be there, and a secondary market for reselling will also emerge.
Namdaba, many thanks for your time. I do appreciate you being on this edition of Canvas in Niger-Delta Roundtable, sharing your experience of how you and your partner at Sitemap are forging solutions to very real, humongous problems in our society. Thanks for your time. Wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap on this edition of Canvas in Niger-Delta Roundtable. We have discussed how problems present opportunities for advancement. It's very real. Problems present opportunities, and like my guest Namduba mentioned, the bigger the problem, the bigger the solution, and the positive impact it would have, not just on individuals, but even society at large as well. Thanks for being a part of it. Remember, the program is brought to you by SPDC. I'm an JV Partners. I'm Adedayo Elushakin. Bye for now.